So I took an Uber to this coffee shop, and my Uber driver, we were having a great conversation. And I just mentioned I was in real estate. Here, he's a real estate agent, just getting started. And in my book bag that I have right here, I have a copy of the cookbook. So I gave him a copy. And he's like, "Dude, this is so awesome! Like, I've been really struggling getting leads. I don't really have any training with my realtor." I gave him my business card. He gave me his, and it was just an awesome conversation. So that just goes to show you that you never know who you're going to meet.
But you always have to have a cookbook in your pocket.
Always, man. Always got one going.
So we're not going to wait. If people want to come, that's fine. So basically, real quick, we just wanted to go over. Look, I think, obviously interest rates are rising. Josh, I sent you that link to show the 10-year. We're up 40 basis points in the past 9 days or so on interest rates, which is actually, I think it's going to be a good thing for the market in general. I do think that it's going to make people have to sell. I think people were holding off. They didn't want to sell. They were waiting for rates to come down. And then everyone that was on the sidelines is hearing, oh, interest rates drop, interest rates are now 5%, 5.5%. And now it teased everybody to create, more of a buyer demand, more like a euphoria feeling, right? And now immediately sentiments completely changed, by some numbers that came out this past week as well. I think that, in my personal opinion, we are going to have people now really start to list their properties for sale and say, you know what, let's just sell, especially with the nice weather and everyone going outside. And, one thing that does concern me, again, is I hope people aren't going to wait and be unrealistic. A lot of people that have tried to sell properties have overpriced their properties by 15, 20%, and they're not getting any action or activity on it, right? So they're going to miss that whole wave of buyers. So like a buyer that's approved for 500,000 is never going to look at a property for 600,000, right? But if that person lists their property and they want 600,000 and they list it for 499, right? They might get $600,000 for it. So I think, a lot of the strategy right now for real estate agents should be, actually having the questions asked to the prospective seller. Hey, why are you selling? Have you considered refinancing, right? What's the reason? Like, where are you going to go? Like, what's your game plan? I really think people sat back and did nothing to kind of see how the market was going to shake out. And now that, kind of all the cards are on the table and people realize like there is no residential economic collapse happening, right? And if it is, it's going to be a slow death. But more importantly, like here we are in the spring, and I'll keep referencing, the flip that we did is, a guy that, I usually present deals to come in on with us was like, no, the market's going to crash, first quarter of next year, prices are going to drop 50%. And here we are. Not only did prices not drop, we sold the house for close to 15% over ask, right? Because it's an affordable price point. And when you look at all the people that are paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month in rent, they'll buy a house and have a $4,000 or $5,000 a month mortgage payment, right? So I think people really need to just do a better job of sharing the relative local market information, more stories like that. And as I explained on the call earlier we did today, Sherry and I, we told everybody the biggest opportunity is going to be in the commercial mortgage market, as we discussed, with all of these high asset valuations and, higher interest rates, the cash flows from the properties are not going to be able to be refinanced. So I told everybody, you better become a commercial, real estate market expert, because if you don't, you're going to have a big problem when, rates remain high and there's no homes for sale. Again, you could have the lowest rates in the marketplace, right? But if there are no homes for sale, people aren't going to be able to buy homes. And I just posted, I believe that 80% of home buyers right now that are going to be looking for homes in this market are going to be actually not able to purchase real estate this year just because of the lack of inventory and the quality of buyers that are out there. So when we say there's going to be double pent up demand, that's probably being conservative. But if you have a double pent up demand of buyers and only 25% normal inventory for sellers, think about how much that outweighs reality, right? So there's going to be a lot of disappointed people. And I think the Feds, like I said, baited everybody into, hey, interest rates are dropping to create that additional buzz and excitement. And now here we are. And then in a week, they raise interest rates nearly 0.5%. So I think everyone needs to just understand what's going on, plan ahead. And, like we said, we're doing a deal for a client right now that is paying on average 2.3% per month on her $80,000 of credit cards, right? That comes out to about 29% or so, give or take, annually on her interest rate. So she really shouldn't be upset with an interest rate in the high fives or, all the way up to low sevens potentially. So people need to be realistic about their global financial position, not just what their interest rate is. If you're able to cash out, refinance, or take a line of credit out and make other investments or buy, a strategic second home or do something safe, put money into the stock market, whatever you want to do, rates in the sixes are still a healthy place for interest rates to be. And then once you factor in the tax deductions, a 6% rate really does come out to be plus or minus, 4.1, 4.2 net after the mortgage tax deduction, right? So again, people really need to understand what's coming in the spring market, and rather than being reactive to when things get crazy, planning ahead and preparing how to structure not only your business model, but your referral partners to have realistic expectations of the upcoming chaos will be the most crucial factor of who succeeds this spring and then who's unfortunately stuck on the sidelines.